Welcome back. As supporters of stricter gun laws speak out in the wake of the Oxford High School shooting in an effort to get more laws passed, Michigan Congressman Tim Walberg says that's not the right answer. The Rundown caught up with him this week. Listen to what he has to say as the Oxford community and entire state try to move forward.
On this issue, so often the first thing we seem to hear about is let's have more gun laws. And my question says, what gun law don't we have right now that if we used it wouldn't have an impact? I listened to some of the Oakland County Sheriff's statements about that, saying the frustration that when his deputies and officers of like pick up people with gun violations so often, they get into a court system that eventually puts them back on the street and really doesn't use the full impact of the gun laws that are there already. So I think that's something we have to look at, because it gets to a point if you wonder why law enforcement agents even worry about dealing with people who violate. And these are illegal actions. And in many cases, people don't even have a legal handgun or long gun in the process of committing a crime or having it where they shouldn't. So let's use the laws and let's carry them out. Let's expect our courts and our justices to do what the law says. Second, I think we had to look at mental health issues. In this particular case, what I know of it, from hearing your reports and others, this young man had a history that should have brought concern both to the parents, who I certainly hold accountable for the actions of their child in light of the fact that they were warned and they were even in the school that day. The other area, and it's too large of an issue to really get into, but it's a whole issue of the value of life today. The games that young people play, videos, et cetera, that are violent. There's some that say that has no impact, and yet we know that education has impact. And whether it's a teacher in a classroom teaching English or mathematics, or whether it's a video game, getting a person desensitized to violence. I think we ought to look at that, and then the whole moral issue of our society, getting back to some of those traditional values, at the very least, the golden rule. But in the end, we know that criminals will get guns when legal-minded citizens will follow the law, and they'll be the ones that are restricted without cause. We have to work, even as Sheriff Bouchard said, in using the laws we have and letting it be known in the general public that if you use illegally a gun or handle illegally a gun or get a gun illegally, and we find out, you're going to be prosecuted, and we're not going to be easy on you. And I think that will have an impact, because while we are a society that wants to express grace and sensitivity and compassion, yet with all of that, if we don't have justice, everything falls apart. And so while there'll be plenty of people that'll use this to further restrict legal citizens using the Second Amendment in their purchase of and use of guns, that will not have an impact on the criminal or the person that wants to get it and find some way to get a gun and use it.
Well, there's still a lot ahead in the Capitol Rundown. Up next, we head to Washington, D.C. to get the latest on the nationwide battle against COVID-19, specifically the Omicron variant that has now been reported here in Michigan. Stay with us. The Capitol Rundown. We'll be right back.